And certainly the seeds there that I'm trying to plant in the university is for people to care for the earth and to do something to reverse this. So the first week, I want you to immerse yourself into several things. The first are some of these videos, including Dr. David Orr's address to the 2013 Synod, UCC Synod in Long Beach. It was an amazing address, and he pointed out our extreme weather events and climate change in a very systematic way are not resulting from what we're doing currently, but they're the results of our behaviors during the Reagan eras 30 years ago. The worst is yet to happen for what we've done today. It was very moving and led the UCC historically to adopt 3 changes that no other faith community has done. And they're in lesson 2, and the full text you can access. The first was to oppose mountaintop harvesting of coal in Appalachia. Over 500 mountains have been destroyed. I recommend not only reading it, but read it in the context of that movie, Renewal, because the first segment on Renewal is a group of Catholics and evangelicals that take a tour of Appalachia, and they're horrified at what they see being done to God's creation. And the spill-off from this mining practice, which not only destroys trees and animals and other life, it impacts human life by putting toxins and poisons into the water system, such as arsenic and lead, and things that are not good for human beings, and certainly not good for the planet, and not good for other life. It's really important to see that people of faith are finding the courage to stand up to saying we cannot rape the earth and exploit it. The second motion is, again, that resolution that came out of the Synod was, again, historical. And it was to look at divesting the UCC pension plan from all fossil fuel companies, to engage in conversations with them and to challenge them to really be not only transparent, but to move in other directions. The third is one that interests me. I mean, the 2 others are very important, but the third one in particular is one of the reasons for this course. And this is the 2030 campaign to bring all UCC buildings on campuses of all congregations, retreat centers, hospitals, etc., to a carbon neutral footprint. That's why I'm here, because I think buildings are important, and we can change our relationship to the building as we begin to change the building. This will not happen overnight, but it is a process that may take months and even years. But in doing so, we can perhaps lessen and create virally the modeling for other congregations and other faith communities of following the UCC, and certainly looking at environmental justice and reducing our climate change impact. So I certainly think that you first have to get the information on it and then begin to subscribe on a regular basis to several folks. One is Interfaith Power and Light. I think it's a good organization. They send out weekly notices. The UCC Justice Network is very important. As I was beginning to look at the UCC, I was attracted by the amount of environmental justice work that it was doing. Certainly it was doing significantly, but not enough. And I was looking at the resources there. I certainly look at the UUA. I look at, certainly, at other congregations. They're doing some really incredible things, Buddhists and Muslims and Jews. And more recently, last week, a group of Catholic nuns in Kentucky, the Sisters of Loretto, with the Trappist monks at Gethsemane. Gethsemane is is a real important spiritual place for American Catholicism and spirituality. It's where Thomas Merton, who got me involved in Buddhism originally, was located. They stopped a fracking company and its pipeline. And in fact, they not only stopped there, the nuns brought a petition to the House legislature to mandate that no companies can declare any land eminent domain, as they were trying to do for part of the monastery. I applaud, and this is a group of less than 200 people that were able to exercise their faith commitment and love of the earth and stop corporate greed. We face incredible odds because certainly the fossil fuel companies are out of control. We are doing reckless things such as fracking. And here in LA, the city council is prohibiting fracking because it doesn't make sense to pollute water when we are experiencing a drought in California. And secondly, to do fracking in an earthquake zone. It seems that there's strong evidence that fracking has produced earthquakes in Oklahoma and Ohio and Pennsylvania that didn't experience earthquakes. So it raises some major questions about the safety and efficacy. It's very short-sighted. I think that we have to get ourselves educated. One of the easiest ways is certainly to look at, and I will have on the site here, various groups you should connect yourself. The Sierra Club, the Environmental Defense Fund. I love animals, and therefore I certainly would recommend getting the newsletter from PETA, People for Ethical Treatment of Animals. Echo Jesuits is a really good one too, worldwide. But I want to say, do that, and certainly you will get yourself constantly being informed. Interfaith Power and Light sends something out every week. And it may be that you and some members of your congregation can write a letter to your congressional representative or senator to stop things. Certainly, we need to stop the proposed pipeline coming from Tarzan's, Canada, with sludge oil going over the largest aquifer water table in North America. And so far, the fossil fuel companies, oil companies, have not had a good track record in terms of accidents. If there is a major accident and that sludge is released and pollutes the aquifer, it will be one of the major environmental catastrophes in our nation. It will deprive cities of water and farmers. Again, it is corporate greed that leads this, a corporate consummation of fossil fuels. And we have to start thinking about alternatives. We are doing destructive things to the earth. We are raping the earth and its environment. So I certainly would recommend getting yourself educated, and it doesn't take too much to do so. So I will have on the website some groups that subscribe to. And you can quickly read within a couple minutes their synopsis every other day or week and get some ideas, and then jump in and say, hey, I can automatically send an email to say that I love the earth and I care for the earth, and this policy is reckless and it is hurting other life, it's hurting the earth, and it's hurting me. God bless you.